What I'm going to talk about is, as you can see in the slide title, is problem to prescription. So what I'm discussing here is the entire product journey. So I want to talk a little bit about regulation. I want to talk a little bit about testing and how that can fit in to getting the product to market with a competitive edge. And that is something that's very important in a very agile market, in a very competitive market like what we see here. So as I said, just going to look a little bit about Broughton, what we do. Just a single slide on that. We're just going to discuss that. We have a stand outside. We talk about testing, where testing fits into that product development journey, and how through collaboration with testing and solution providers that this can enhance the product quality, give the products a competitive edge. So what the needs, and also this is a key thing I think, is how we destigmatize cannabis from an illegal drug into a natural product, a healthcare product, a pharmaceutical product. And those are the things that we want to be able to achieve through testing, through that certified stamp, and making it a product that is acceptable. It's all over the place. We see it all over in our pharmaceuticals and other things as well. The product development pathways that we see here are opportunities for testing and solution providers to become part of that story. And I think this is important when, like I say, is getting that product with a competitive edge, is using the abilities that a lot of testing, a lot of solution providers have out there, and to enable the product to move quickly to market. And marketing, basically for a wide variety of uses, I think is very important in terms of any other, same as any other pharmaceutical product. Moving it to market, moving it to faster to market, and identifying it as what it does. And I think that's really important in terms of bringing those things to the public domain, bringing those things to the next stage in the product cycle. What we do, what tools we have to give the product a competitive edge, and discuss these afterwards as well. And I'll bring some conclusions. So a little bit about Broughton. We are a global CRO. We've got a lot of experience in product development, regulatory submissions, a lot of experience in the pharmaceutical industry as well. So in terms of what we're doing with the cannabis side of things, it's a lot of that, the pharmaceutical style of product development, and with a lot of regulatory experience as well. So I want to talk about this product development journey. And the way I've done this is looking at cannabis testing in effectively two streams. So what this is, what I'm calling a standardized approach. We start off with a raw product. We've talked already this morning about cultivation, extraction, speciation, production as a raw product, and then we move on to testing and quality control. Now, testing and quality control obviously can be a lot of things. You know, we look at the toxins, we look at the cannabinoids, we look at the pesticides, all sorts of things. Physical testing, stability, we did a lot of things about stability of this product. Then we have a certified product. So that is a product with a stamp on it. That brings it more through this destigmatization process. And once we have that stamp on it, we then move into effectively a market decision. Now, this standardized approach has a lot of testing involved in it. So you've got a lot of things testing there. So you're able at that point to differentiate. You have a very wide-ranging product that's suitable for several different markets. You can also take a market-specific approach, where you start out at the same point. You then make a market decision. Where do I want to focus my business development? Where do I want to look at my, into my markets, and where do I want to focus my product development? At that point, this is where it requires a solution provider. Instead of just a standard testing provider, a solution provider to enable you to look at a bespoke market identification and a bespoke market targeting. And then you have a market-specific certified product, which is important if you want to focus, go after a particular micro market, if you like the term. Go after a particular micro market in what is a very, very agile and very, very moving market indeed. So then what you have is you've got specific marketing, the ability to do this supported by specific testing. You've got a product that's very quick to market, and you've got a product that's very specific in a market. So if you look at where you start in both of these approaches, with the testing and quality control in the standardized approach, that's where you start. So you get as much as possible within the testing quality control. You bring in a lot of things. You have a very open product to be able to move quickly to certified product and then almost like a scattergun approach in terms of moving it out to the markets. With the specific approach, you make the market decision first. You say, okay, well, I am, an agile firm, I'm an agile company, I want to go for this particular micro market. As a consequence of that, I've made my market decision. I'm going to make my testing and solution decision based on the market decision that we've already made. Now, there are pros and cons to both of these approaches. If you look at the standardized approach, the pros are it's a wide scope. This is a very agile market. It's very mobile at the moment. So getting that wide scope of product testing, it enables your product to be able to address multiple markets. You've got a comprehensive testing process. That stamp of approval and that journey to destigmatizing the product to make it, an acceptable product for medical use, for all sorts of other uses, you've got all that testing already in place. So you can rapidly shift focus. Like I said, this is an agile market. You can rapidly shift focus as the winds change. We've seen what's going on in this market. Things are moving around. Requirements are different, particularly from the testing side, the regulatory side. If you've already got that done, then you're able to target the product as things shift, as regulations change, different countries come online. You're able to have a product that's ready to react. If you look at the cons, you've got a lower specificity product. So potentially that could damage your competitive edge in certain markets. Markets that respond well to specification, you've got a very wide-ranging product there. Is that going to be a competitive product in that particular micro market? A decision you're going to have to make. You're also looking at quite extensive testing. So there's a lot of things going on with that product as you're moving it through to a market. So that may increase your time to market if you're doing a lot of testing on the product. If you look at the other hand, on the market-specific approach, the pros you've got, you're targeting, you're showcasing expertise, you're making a name for yourself in a specific micro market, so you're able to start to develop yourself as the go-to in that particular market. You've got a competitive edge versus the generic products that you have from the standardized approach. You've got a potentially faster time to market. You can do the needs of the regulatory, but you can also focus what you're doing there on a specific market so you can move it at a faster pace through the journey. There are cons. Like I said, this is a very volatile market. So as a consequence, if things change, you will have a longer reaction time. So if things move through the process and all of a sudden the winds change, the regulations change, you're going to have to go back and potentially have a think about where you sit in that journey. The product portfolio and hence your customer base is potentially reduced. If you're focusing on only one micro market, the product may not be appropriate for all. So that's something from a testing perspective you do have to consider. Am I focusing on one market? If so, are my testing needs lower? Therefore, am I having a specific product? The customer base is going to be smaller. So we feel that the key to enhancing this product quality and obviously making your product regulatory compliant, but also giving it that competitive edge. We're all businesses here at the end of the day. Giving your product that competitive edge is something that can be enhanced through collaboration. So key to driving product quality really and product specificity and also a competitive edge to your product. What point does a solution provider have a say in that story? So I'll simplify the time to market, the chains that I had before. So you have raw product, marketing, testing, marketing, and finally commercialization. So where can a testing provider, or as we're calling it, a solution provider, end up in this particular part of the chain? Well, raw products, we've got collaboration to destigmatize. Certainly destigmatization is something I've mentioned quite a lot. The reason behind that is we need to move our products through into high quality, basically have that stamp of approval on everything to move it into a proper commercial quality and controlled product. When we move further into marketing, what are the best testing pathways to adopt for a specific micro market or potentially a larger, more envelope market? What can testing strategies can we adopt for product success? Well, the advice you're going to get to ensure that's working fine is from the solution providers. When we hit testing, how do we present the results? How do we present the results to clients? How do we package the process of results that we have within our testing capacities? How do we maintain this viable product? How do we show this is what we've done? This is why our product has a competitive edge because we've done this. We need to be able to present that in a concise and repeatable way, effectively. When we move further on to marketing, we want to determine routes to showcase our products to a specific market. And if you take that step back to testing, we're available to play in this market because we've done X. That is where the solution providers can assist. And finally, in commercialization, we want to talk about future-proofing. That's very important in a very agile business. You want to future-proof your product. So where a testing provider, where a solution provider can help here is to say, okay, well, we've been discussing with the regulatory authorities. We know this is coming on board further down the line. All those kind of things. We can assist with that process. Solution provider is everywhere, or that has the ability to assist at every single point in the story. And I think that's important because, as the reasons I'll say is, as product suppliers, gaining from that is not just a testing provider. It's a collaborative partner. And I think that's very important in, like I say, and I'm always saying the words agile market. I think that's very important because when the winds change, we all need to be able to react. And having that partner from a testing perspective is very, very important to provide the data that's required as things change. And like I said, that certified, knowledgeable testing partner that's recognized in many fields, particularly if we want to move forward into the pharmaceutical field and very, very far down in the pharmaceutical field. Having testing and solution providers with experience in that frame is very important. We can showcase our products in a competitive way, having a stamp of approval from all our testing, which is really important, moves our product, the destigmatization process, and a contributor to that is very important, I feel. Moving it onto a regulated, a safe product, a pharmaceutical product, and away from the stigmatization being an illegal drug. And offering advice at every step of the way. I think it's important not to just have a testing provider that's literally in that space. It's important to have a testing provider that's part of the whole journey. And a key contributor at every decision process is very important. But as a consequence of that, in a very agile market and moving into it, the solution providers get themselves a collaborative partner to advise on developing their testing practices. It's in both of our interests to have this conversation and be part of this product journey. We get a voice. I say it's a very volatile market, so having a voice in how this market is driven and how this market is moving is very important. What I think testing providers need to accept, and I think contributors, I think product suppliers, testing is not just a data provision. Testing has to be part of the whole story. And as a consequence, being able to bring that in to give the product more than just a regulatory seal of approval, but a competitive edge. And in a large market space, in a very agile market space, having a competitive edge is very important. Collaborate with product suppliers and the driving that product quality, moving it through the whole story to commercialization. And there's ongoing discussions with the regulatory future of cannabis-based products. Having a voice at that table from a solution provider perspective is very important. And of course, everyone wants to enjoy success in business. Being in lockstep with product suppliers is certainly something that every solution provider, every testing provider is looking for. Being part of that story, I think it's important to define that story as to where everyone's role is in this story. So a little bit about our approach, what we actually do, and this is where we can translate what we've talked about already in the product journey into something that we can assist with. How do we do this? And there's a very important point in this at the end of this. So we have a high quality product. We've done testing. We're looking at compliance. So we're ticking all these boxes as we go through, and we're improving the compatibility. We're improving that competitive edge of the product for every time we go through this. We get a market advantage. We can get advice. And all of these, as you can see, these arrows, they're back and forward. And that's really important. It's not just providing a service for testing in a one-way direction. It's important to have this collaborative approach with anybody that's involved in this product cycle, and being able to talk in between, being able to provide advice to each other. We feel that's very, very important in developing into an agile market. It's collaboration. That's the key. It's simple as that. Collaboration is absolutely the key. It's the key to both our successes. And one of the things we can do is, and this is very important, the products we have is the Lab HQ LIMS. I'm not going to talk too much about it here, but we'll talk about it. We can talk about it on the stand later. What a LIMS system, and what a very powerful LIMS system like this actually does. You've got things like that you can think about as your testing process goes through, the live sample tracking, chain of custody. As we've already discussed this morning, and we've seen this morning, chain of custody is very important as to how we can move physically through this process and making sure that we're regulatory compliant at every step of the way, allowing you to monitor this, allowing you to be comfortable that everything that is in your control is in your control. Basically, that's the bottom line. All the digital compliance, online C of A's, all of that thing is taken care of. One less headache, basically, is what we're trying to say here. It's the ability to have all that thing, all that stuff at your fingertips, and we think that's very important. What's also important, as we've seen through both of the presentations this morning, is being able to monitor those product trends. Now, you can also have, commercial trend monitoring, but monitoring the product, monitoring the quality, monitoring the testing results, all of that thing, having that at your fingertips, as we've discussed this morning, is very important. Putting all your data in one place. It sounds really simple, but when you actually think about doing that, it's not an easy thing because of the sheer quantity of data that is in there. Being able to put all of your data in one place, being able to call a specific piece of data out at any one time. Massive competitive edge for your product because you're always on board. You get a customer complaint, you can see really quickly what's going on. And that's important to be able to maintain that product quality, maintain that competitive edge. And at the end of the day, maximize your profit. It's a business thing. This is why we're here. It's something that we want to achieve. We want to move ourselves forward in the world of business in this particular market. It sounds mercenary, but we want to make money. That's what it's all about. The important point, though, that I wanted to make is the way that I feel that testing providers, solution providers should be treating this is exactly as the same as any other pharmaceutical product, any other natural product that goes into a pharmaceutical. And I think it's important for that destigmatization process. And a lot of things that we've seen, historically in terms of all the records that have been falsified, we've seen all these things. We know what's going on out there sometimes. So being able to treat it like a proper, certified, tested, stamp of approval pharmaceutical product is something that's important to go through this destigmatization process. So, a short presentation. I just want to bring up some final thoughts. We've seen that product development is a very collaborative journey. And actually moving that product to market is not something that should be undertaken alone. It's something that we feel that a solution provider has a big role to play at every step of the way in that particular process. And it's about understanding needs. It's about understanding needs from both ends. Like every single arrow that I put in there was bidirectional. And that's incredibly important to gain advice both ways, to gain a collaborative approach both ways. As I said about the destigmatization, we've seen there have been massive problems in the past with this product. At the end of the day, it started out as an illegal drug. So there has been problems with commercialization, with issues with compliance, those kind of things, falsifying records, those kind of things that really don't help with destigmatization. People still think it's effectively a dodgy compound. It's that kind of weird mentality that I think needs to be overcome through a stamp of approval with a certified testing and solution provider. But we need to be fluid. This market is evolving. This market is agile. So those two-way arrows, that collaboration process needs to be important as this market evolves. And as a consequence of that, we gain the ability to help drive regulatory evolution, drive product evolution, drive market evolution, which is incredibly important as this market moves forward. Tools and experience and compliance through years of product testing, particularly in the pharmaceutical industry, treat it as another pharmaceutical product in the same way that any other pharmaceutical manufacturer would develop. That's very important to be able to, this destigmatization process, to be able to take on board and utilize the experience that solution providers do have in that market. We'll treat it as the same as a pharmaceutical product. Thank you very much. I just want to bring my ideas of how I see product development, product evolution, and market evolution developing, and how effectively us as a solution provider, you guys as a product provider, how we can work together to achieve a stable market, which is very agile at the moment. The winds are changing directions a lot. How we can achieve a stable market, how we can move products with a competitive edge quickly to market. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'll let you go and get coffee now, and come and talk to us on the stand. Hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you.